Good afternoon, traders. How are we? Trader Tom here. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the live stream. I'm going to be with you for the next 45 minutes. So please ask as many questions as you like about trading. Also, what are we going to do? Also, we're going to look at a couple of trades that I am in. And we're going to look at the news coming out as well and the reaction to that. And we are just going to talk everything trading, guys, right? That's the plan. So get a cup of tea, sit down, and let's enjoy it together. Guys, yesterday, I apologize if you did turn up for the live stream. I was very horribly sick yesterday. I'm still a bit under the weather today, guys, but from yesterday to today, you know, like night and day. The power of antibiotics. What would we do without them? So yeah, there you go, guys. That's what we're going to do. The news that we have coming out, right, is all of this US dollar news coming out, guys, right? So we must be aware of this, especially if you are in any US dollar pair. But we'll take a look at this when it comes out, and we will play Guess the News. I know it's exciting. It's probably the best game on the internet, but that's what we'll do. What else are we going to do? There was a couple of other things I wanted to tell you, but my brain has gone blank because of my sickness, I think. But let's just get stuck in, guys, right? Let's just say hello to a few people. Afternoon, Brett. Afternoon, Tamas. Hello, Tom. Been a while. I'm on vacation this week, so I have time to watch. Love the channel. Thank you very much, Tamas. Very kind words. I will pay you later. Yeah, good to have you back. So let's get started. Let's get stuck in and show you the trade that I literally got in this morning, and that is Euro Aussie dollar. And I am looking to buy. Well, I did buy this pair. So why did I buy it? Well, we are in an uptrend. Okay, you can clearly see that we're in an uptrend. Higher lows, higher highs. We're in an uptrend, right? And then all I'm looking for, guys, is H4 to marry up with my day chart, right? Before I do that, I will take a look at the weekly chart as well, right? But, you know, weekly chart is looking pretty good, right? Bullish candle, room to move into, in an uptrend. So daily and weekly are both looking good. That makes me very happy when it comes to buying, right? But then, guys, you know, I have to find an entry, and that usually is on the H4, right? I might find an entry on the H1, but typically the H4. And again, I just want H4 to marry up with the day chart, right? So this is where we're at, right? We're in an uptrend. This was the last low, and we never broke it. You could have entered on this candle, you know, like days ago, right? But I actually entered today, guys, right? So we got this candle here, right? We got this candle here that broke this high and broke these wicks here. So, you know, this level here might have put you off this trade. You'll be like, right, I'm seeing potentially lower highs. And I get that, right? So I waited for a break of that level, and that break came with this candle right here, this exact candle here. Okay, and then all I did, guys, I actually went down to the H1, right? This is how I use the H1 sometimes, right? And then I just waited for a bit of a retrace, right? So started buying in here, okay, my stop loss below here, and I'm looking to take price higher. And that's the trade I'm in, guys. So we shall see. Again, you know, we still have just under an hour before this H4 candle finishes for me, right? And within that hour, right, that obviously price can move 100 pips in an hour, right, easily. But if the H4 candle ends up looking like this, I seriously might just get out of this trade at break even, right? Because we've had a big bearish candle, you know, go against my trade. right? But if we get a bit of a bottom wick on this candle, something like this, right? And even if it ends up like a bit of a doji, that's still fine for me to stay in this trade, right? Nothing telling me to get out. But if we see a candle like that, guys, I may get out of this trade early. So we shall see. We will keep an eye on this. Yeah, and that's the trade that I'm in, guys. Euro Aussie dollar buys. Now, today there were so many trades I was looking at. And again, if I just show you the free Discord, guys, right? So if you haven't already, please come join our trading community, right? We have a free Discord channel, and this is exactly what you're looking at, okay? And also, if you join our free Discord channel, we will give you 50% off our complete trading course, right? So no brainer, just use the QR code on the screen. That will take you exactly where you need to be. But just look at how many trades that we're potentially setting up today, right? We're not potentially setting up, but these are trades that I can take because I like the day chart. Okay, this is what these trades are. Another one I'm liking the look of right now is silver. Okay, so obviously Euro Aussie dollar I am in, okay, and then silver, right, I like the look of, because if I show you silver right now, guys, let's have a look at silver. We have literally just had a break of H4 structure, right? So we were here, right, and then we've broken this last high here. That was the last substantial high. I know we have this high here as well, but even if when we broke this high, I'm not going to trade into that level. I still want to see a break of that level, and that's exactly what we got, right? We got a nice break, and now what I'm looking for, guys, is a bit of a retrace, right? So I want to see a retrace potentially back to that level, right? Moving average 20 catches up. You know, I'm really interested in buying silver if we get that retrace to take it back up to here. But it's a big if, right? I mean, look at this H4 candle here and look at this wick so far on this candle. So will we get that retrace? Maybe not. If we don't, I don't have a trade, right? I don't suffer with FOMO. If this trade went bang straight up to here, so be it, right? It didn't set up according to my strategy, right? So that's absolutely fine, right? But if we do get a retrace into here, I think we've got a really nice trade with silver. So yeah, that is what I am looking at, guys. But what the hell would you like to look at? So let's take a look. Let's see who is in the house. And I just caught a look at myself on the monitor there, and I do look sick. I am sick, right? So yeah, there you go. Anyway, right, let's see who's in. Mark, how are you, Mark? Luigi, how are you, mate? Phil, how are you? Got a windy England. Okay. I hear the weather's been quite nice in England. To be honest with you, I'd rather be in the UK for the summer, right? In Dubai, it gets ferociously hot. I think it's about 42 degrees today, to give you an idea. Yes, that's bloody hot. So yeah, give me a, UK summer anytime. Right, who else have we got in? Any, good afternoon. First time on your live session. Well, welcome, any, to the first time on the live session. What else are we looking at here, guys? Right, so we got Follow Run Show. I'm sure I've pronounced that wonderfully. Euro pound, please. And I like the manners. There's a please at the end of it. Some people are just like New Zealand dollar, US dollar, now, Tom, now. But I'm going to call you FOLO, it's shorter. Euro pound, let's have a look. Now, so this is not okay. Got to be careful how I word this, right? So this is not me showing off. What I'm about to show you is me showing you what you need to do every day in order to have a good grip of the market. Now, as you know, my hands are here. I haven't looked at any other screen or anything, but euro pound is interesting because euro pound is in a H4 downtrend, right? Close to the moving average 20, which gives us value, but the daily is in an uptrend. But on the daily, we are starting to see some selling candles, right? So that just goes to show that I do my analysis every single day with every single pair. And that's not me showing off. That is me showing you, you know, the time and effort you need to put in with your analysis. Okay. So let's look at euro pound, and I will repeat exactly what I just said, right? So if we look at the H4 first, right, we're in a H4 downtrend, right? This was the last significant low, right? Price pushed up, and then this candle broke that low. So we're getting lower lows, right? We're in a H4 downtrend, and price has retraced, which you know that I like, literally to the moving average 20, right? And we're in a downtrend, and there's nice resistance here. Okay, so if you were looking at the H4, you would say, hell yeah, this is a good sell trade, right? Now, the only thing, so if I only traded the H4, I would start selling that, right? I would, yeah, but I don't just trade the H4. Obviously, I keep an eye on the daily. And the thing with the daily is, as I explained, right, we are in a uptrend, but we're starting to see, you know, some bearish candles take hold, right? You know, can we take price back down to this level here? Potentially. I think this candle is quite bullish, right? But regardless of all of that, we're in an uptrend, right? With a reasonably bullish candle there. So it'd be very difficult for me, no matter how much I like the H4, which I do, right? I think that's a really nice looking sell trade. The day chart just doesn't agree with that. Okay, we're in an uptrend. We're also at an area of support through here, right? It's proved to be support before, you know, it's going to be support again. So if anything, I would want to buy euro pound. Now, if you think about that, and we go back to the H4, that is also a possibility, right? And it just goes to show how quickly a market can change, right? Because right now, if we let's just imagine I traded the H4, because right now, if we got a nice bearish, let's say we ended up with a bearish candle that looked like that, right? Then I would say, right, that's a really good selling opportunity. Let's sell. Let's put our stops above here. Let's start selling it. Okay. But at the same token, if I got a bullish candle that broke above this level through here and broke above the moving average 20, I would also like to buy that because of what the daily is telling me, right? So euro pound, which is why I think it was a good pair to analyze, a follow-on show, is really interesting right now. There's an argument for buying it and selling it, and it really depends on what price does at this exact level, right? So, and again, I'm not just gonna jump into that trade, right? I'm gonna let the market tell me. And the market will tell me if it's a big bearish candle, right? We can start selling, but obviously I wouldn't because of the day chart, right? Or if it was a big bullish candle, I could start buying, and I would be more inclined to do that because of the daily chart. So there you go. Hope that helps. Euro pound. Good afternoon, Michael. How are you, mate? Hello, Adnan. How are you? Aussie Trev, hey, Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Daniel, hi, mate. How are you? PJ, I'm feeling a bit better, mate. Not 100%, but you should have seen me yesterday. And I am not a good sick, like most men, is what my wife was telling me. Yeah, I'm not a good sick. I'm like, oh, you know, it's the end of the world. I may not get through this, but that's genuinely how I felt yesterday. But today, a couple of antibiotics later, yeah, a lot better, PJ. Mike, howdy, how are you? I'd gone long an hour ago on pound yen. Okay, Mike, we'll have a look at pound yen. And Daniel, man flu is very, very real. Jemaya, hello, how are you? Right, so Mike, this one is for you, pound yen. Let's take a look. And okay, it is one of my trade ideas for today, right? I just haven't had an entry yet. Okay, so let me just show you here, guys. So as you can see, pound yen buys was one of my trade ideas for today, right? I just haven't had an entry. And why haven't I had an entry? So first of all, why do I like it? So we are clearly in a daily uptrend, right? This is basically where we're at, right? We're in a daily uptrend, okay? Plus, if I zoom in, we had a nice, very nice bullish candle that broke that high, right? That's a very bullish continuation of trend candle. And we still had a bit of room before we started hitting resistance. And that resistance you can see is in here, right? We've got these levels all through here. So yeah, I like pound yen. I still think there's a little bit of room to move into, okay? And good for us is the H4 is also in an uptrend, right? We're getting these higher highs. This is the last higher lows, right? So we're in an uptrend and we're nicely near the moving average 20. And why do I like the moving average 20? Because it's a visual representation of good value and it is good dynamic support and resistance. So it's good dynamic support in this case. So we've got everything, Mike, pretty much. We've got everything moving in our favor, right? The only thing we don't have is the bullish entry candle. And that's all I'd be waiting for. So, you know, we've only got, well, we've got, yeah, about 40 minutes before this H4 candle finishes. It's looking unlikely that's going to be super bullish, right? But let's say the next candle ended up looking like something like this, right? After this candle, then hell yeah, I am all up for this trade, right? I just need to see a candle that tells me buyers are in control. As soon as we get that, yeah, I would start buying there. Stops, well, I'd probably put my stop below here, because if I put it below the candle, you may as well put it below those last lows, and then I'd look to take price up to here. So Mike, like everything about this trade, just don't have that bullish candle as yet. So Mike, yeah, good stuff. We like that. Who else we got? Carla, how are you? Carla, seen you a few times on the bounce now. Good. Adnan wants to look at Euro US dollar. I'm in a buy trade for now. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at Euro US dollar for Adnan. And also, guys, if I could please ask everyone, before we look at Euro US dollar, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Please smash that notification button. And if everyone could please smash that like button, guys. Really helps support the channel. Thank you very much. You can also become a supporter of the channel for about $2 a month or something. Also, guys, please don't forget to come join our trading community. You can share knowledge, ideas, have a chit chat. So please come join our free Discord channel. right? And right now, as you can see above my head, if you join our free Discord channel, you are going to get 50% off our complete trading course, right? And guys, all you need to do is zap the QR code. Just use the QR code on the screen. Also, guys, if you want access to all of our premium trading education, including the course, including the VIP Trading Academy, and including the mentorship program where I coach you one-on-one, then please check out our website, www.simply-forex.com. Okay, good. I have to say all that, otherwise the editor beats me. Euro US dollar. Again, let me just go back to here, right? These are the trade ideas that I put in the free Discord. And you can see Euro US dollar is a buy trade, right? Is a buy trade idea, okay? Now, the only and let me go, sorry guys, Christ, I'm going back and forth. And I put it here, guys, right? This little note right here, pound US dollar and Euro US dollar are overextended on the weekly chart, but not the daily chart. All right, so let me explain what that means. So let's start with the weekly chart, because on the weekly chart, price up here is crazy overextended. Look at the moving average 20, right? It is very overextended, okay? Let's even bring up the RSI. Where are you? Okay, and that will show you, look, that we are above the 70 level, right? This dotted level here is the 70, and price above that is overextended. But guys, for me, you know, I don't need the RSI to show me that, right? You can see it's overextended because how far away it is from the moving average 20, right? But everything is in an uptrend and everything is bullish, right? That's bullish, indecision, looking pretty bullish, right? Now on the daily, it's not so overextended, right? Here's the moving average 20, right? There's the price currently. It's not super overextended, right? Again, should have kept the RSI up. If I bring the RSI up, okay, it is getting towards a 70 mark as well. So it is a little overextended on the daily as well. And I mention this because that's my only qualm. Yeah, that's the only issue I have with this trade. Because again, right, everything's in an uptrend, right? So we want to buy, right? We've got a nice big bullish candle, right? And we want to take price higher, right? So yes, I like it for a trade, but I would be wary that we are a little overextended. But looking at the H4, guys, right? I mean, again, you know, even on the H4, things are overextended, right? But we're in an uptrend and we have a nice bullish H4 candle, right? It'll be interesting to see how this candle finishes. And if it finishes like this, right, then nothing to worry about, really. There's nothing telling you to get out of this trade, right? The candles are still bullish, right? I would only worry if you start seeing, you know, these big bearish candles come into the market like this, or just a big, thick red candle like that, right? That sort of tells us that price could have a further retrace, perhaps down to here or something, right? But as for now, all pretty good, right? Nothing's telling us to get out of this trade. So yeah, Adnan, I think so far so good with Euro US dollar buys. Right, so Daniel already long pound yen since yesterday, hit TP1, so the second lot is a free trade. Yeah, there's no better position to be in as a trader, right? So Daniel's long in pound yen. We spoke briefly about why we like that trade, right? And you've hit your first target and then you've taken some profit. So let's say you've taken, I don't know, 80% profit. And then that 20%, you know, you can let that run, and you are so much more relaxed at letting that run, right? So yeah, there's no better position to be in than that, Daniel. So happy days. Tomas, I've been watching Forex pairs after giving up on oil's wild movements. Seems that some pairs have great trending fundamentals. So yeah, oil, you know, oil at the moment, because of all the Middle Eastern conflict, right? It feels to me like you may as well get a coin and just go, right, heads, I'm going to buy oil today, right? Or tails, I'm going to sell oil. It's so volatile. It's just moving in one direction and then completely in another. In fact, let's have a look at oil, right? And we know this is Brent, right? Let's look at the day chart. Now we know why, right? It's because of the conflict, right? But look at that. We're like uptrend, 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 kapow. And that, you know, that sums up a few of the markets at the moment. We're getting these massive moves in one direction and then massive moves in the opposite direction. So oil has just become very volatile and very difficult to trade. It really has. Okay. I mean, if you said, Tom, you have to trade oil, right? Then I would potentially be looking for a bullish candle in here, right? And I would buy oil, because if you look here, guys, right, we're kind of sideways and then bang, right? We're still in an uptrend, right? And price has come back to this, what was once resistance, potentially becomes support, right? So that's what I would be looking for, and I'd be tempted to buy oil. I'm not tempted to sell this because we're in an uptrend. But generally speaking, oil is so impacted by geopolitics at the moment, right? It always is, but more so because the geopolitics are so extreme, the movements are so extreme. Okay, and that's where we are with Brent at the moment. The second point to Tamas's not question, but the point he's made, is seems that some pairs have great trending fundamentals. And yes, they do. I mean, what would be a good pair to make my point? Yeah, the Euro US dollar weekly, right? Now, the US dollar has been weak for so long, right? Look at that. It's pretty much ever since Trump has got into power, he has created a weak US dollar. Honestly, when was Trump inaugurated? I bet it's down here somewhere, right? So when was this? March this year. How long's Trump been in? When was Trump when did Trump start being president? Can someone please find out? It'd be interesting if we can tie it with a timeline, because the US dollar is one example of a strong, trending, fundamentally driven pair that is exactly what Tomas says. So yeah, we are seeing that. Yen pairs also, right? If we look at the weekly chart, yen pairs, we're seeing there's loads of shit going on in the world today, but we're seeing no yen strength, right? Yen is a flight to safety, right? So yen is weak, right? Euro yen. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar yen. Okay, let's have a look at the day chart. All right, but euro yen, pound yen, right? There are some strong trends out there. But yeah, that brings me to another point. Like, you would think yen would get some strength in all this geopolitical, not nonsense, but it's geopolitical things that are happening, right? But yen has been weak, right? So you're probably thinking, why is yen weak? It's because the indices are holding up, right? If you go to any of the indices, right? Let's go to the NASDAQ. It's broken all-time highs again. It's no joke. Yeah, it's no joke where that come from and where that's done in such little time, right? And that's why we're not seeing yen weakness. These indices are flying, right? That was the NASDAQ. This is the S&P, US dollar 30, right? Less so the DAX, the Nikkei, right? Flying, the FTSE, less so, right? But generally speaking, the major US indices, right, like the NASDAQ, are flying. And therefore, the yen really gets involved, right? The yen really becomes strong when the indices start dropping, right? Because there's one thing having a lot of geopolitical things going on, but if it doesn't impact the indices, as in make the indices drop, then if the indices still keep rising, then yen will still be weak, right? And you need to know that those correlations, guys. It's very important you understand that correlation. So that is why yen is still weak, because these indices just keep carrying on up. All right, so yeah, I'm glad we cleared that all up. Right, what else are we looking at? Carla says, I don't see likes here. Thank you, Carla. Tell them off. Tell them off if they're not liking the channel. But guys, yeah, please don't forget to smash the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and smash the notification button. Cynical, good morning all. Tom, good to see you. Hope you're feeling much better. I'm feeling better. Thank you, Cynical. Not 100%, but better. Daniel's got one here. Swiss franc yen. I want to go long, but I'm waiting for the new 4-hour candle. Any idea after that, Doji? Thank you. All right, so Daniel wants to buy Swiss franc. Before we do, let me just have a quick look at my Euro Aussie dollar trade. Okay. All right, we've still got another half hour. Yeah, I just don't want to, to carry on with my trade, I just don't want to see a big bearish H4 candle here. But we shall see. Right, Swiss franc yen. Let's take it. Okay, yeah, this is looking nice. Right, it's looking nice, right? I know there was a bit of a but there. Again, the but is this, right? Things are overextended up here. You don't need me to tell you that's in an uptrend, right? Jesus Christ, look at my drawings. I've just got to draw a good arrow to prove that I can draw a good arrow. There you go, right? We're in an uptrend. You don't need me to tell you that. The only thing is, if you look at the weekly chart, we are literally at a very important last weekly high. Look how price reacted at that level. So it's going to be very interesting for me to see how this weekly candle finishes, right? Will this wick close back into this level and we end up with something like this, maybe a doji, right? Okay. And then if it does, I would suggest we have a bit of room to the downside, right? Because that means this level was held, right? And we can potentially take price lower, right? Because it's very overextended here, right? Look at the moving average 20. Look how overextended that is, right? And that's going on about that yen weakness again, right? There's some real yen weakness here, okay? So that's what we're seeing with Swiss franc yen on the weekly chart. Now, if we go to the daily chart, it's found a bit of a top here, right? We've had that wick rejection. We've had a bit of a rejection at this level, right? So there's a few reservations, right, with this trade in terms of buying Swiss franc yen for those reasons, okay? And as you can see, There, that is that level of that I'm concerned about, right? But if we get a nice bullish candle form here, you know, there is enough room to take it to that level, right? We start buying here, put our stops below here. We'll just about have enough room to get into that trade. Okay. So yes, I love the look of this trade from a H4 perspective. I do just think, you know, we're starting to see sellers come into the market at that level, all right? And we're at a key weekly resistance level. So yeah, that's what I'm seeing, Daniel. I hope that helps. Tony Gold, Trader Tom is always on point. Tony Gold, I will pay you later. Thank you for the nice message. As always, I've missed the news, right? Let's play guess the news game. Come on down. And I am going to say we are seeing US dollar strength. Let's have a look at Aussie dollar, US dollar. We are seeing US dollar strength. Let's have a look at pound US dollar. We are seeing US dollar strength. I am going to say the news was better than expected. Let's take a look. Bit of a mixed bag, really. If you look at the 3-star ratings, right? Better than expected, worse than expected. But really, that GDP figure would really worry me in terms of the American economy as a whole, right? That is, you know, again, you know, people don't like throwing this word about, right? It's a bit of a swear word these days, but recession, right? Now, a recession is 2 quarters of GDP negativity. So if you get negative GDP followed by the next quarter being negative GDP, right? But this is, sorry, that's not negative. This was not negative, right? But this is very negative. That would worry me in terms of where the growth is going, right? It's diminishing. There is no growth. So yeah, we'll see. The next GDP figures will be really important. If that's worse than this figure, right, then right, are we heading for a recession? But again, nobody likes to throw that word around. And again, if you look at the indices, you'd be thinking, what recession? What the hell are you talking about? Right? Look at it. It's just flying. So we're getting real mixed messages, right? You know, from a macroeconomic point of view, you know, we're not just seeing GDP slow down or even become negative just in America. We've seen some, you know, worse than expected GDP figures across the board, really. But indices are still flying, right? So there's some funny things at play. But again, guys, you know, that is me speculating what is happening at a macroeconomic level. And that's not how I trade, right? I can speculate about what's happening macroeconomically, you know, but that's more for, you know, a chat at a dinner table, right? Not that anyone wants to talk to me about that sort of thing. People generally switch off and glaze over when I mention it. But I like to rabbit on about that stuff at a dinner party, and everyone else slowly loses the will to live, right? But that's all it's good for, is a chat at a dinner party. It has no bearing on your trades, because you're trading trend, you know, support and resistance, structure, candlesticks, etc. So you just trade your setup. Don't worry yourself too much with macroeconomics, right? And another thing with, you know, macroeconomics or fundamental trading, right? Let's go to Euro US dollar, right? Now, we know that Euro US dollar is in an uptrend. So we know whatever's coming out from a fundamental or macroeconomic point of view means that euro is strong and US dollar is weak. Now, what drives this to be an uptrend is macroeconomics, right? That's, you know, I always have this, not argument, but this debate with fundamental traders, right? You know, they'll be telling me, oh, euro US dollar is strong because they're thinking of increase, you know, whatever reason it is. Maybe they're thinking of increasing interest rates, or GDP figures are really strong, or whatever, you know. And US dollar, we've just had bad GDP figures, you know. Maybe they're thinking of decreasing interest rates, which they're not, right? I'm just talking hypothetically. Then all of that fundamental news is here. You can see it, right? For all those macroeconomic reasons, fundamental reasons, euro is strong, US dollar is weak. So by that definition, I am a fundamental trader. I'm a technical trader, but the charts tell you what the fundamentals are doing, right? So, yeah, just focus on what the charts are telling you, guys. Right, what else are we looking at? Okay, so, Tomas. So it was announced March 1st that Trump came into power, is that correct? Placed on Monday, the 20th of Jan. Okay, so he was inaugurated. So let's go back to the euro US dollar weekly chart. So he was inaugurated in January, and he sort of came into power in March. I mean, from here, right? This is January. This is March. Look what he's done to the dollar, right? You could describe him as the president that has killed the dollar. You really could. Look at it, right? But you know, or does he have, you know, a bigger plan? Does he want a weak dollar? You know, again, I cannot, you know, I do not think about these things when it comes to my trading. But again, dinner party chat, you know, does he want a weak dollar? Right? He wants to do more locally produced things in America. He wants to become a hub for manufacturing and services, and therefore become a bigger exporter. And therefore you want a weaker dollar, because then your products are more attractive to people outside your country, outside the US, right? But again, that would be complete. There would be no basis for that, but it would make good sense, right? So there you go, guys. Yeah, I don't trade like that. Just a little bit of food for thought. There's my conspiracy theory with the dollar. Right, what else are we looking at? Any wants to take a quick look at Euro New Zealand dollar? Docs, we have already looked at Swiss franc yen. So Docs, please take a look at the Swiss franc yen analysis prior to this. And any, we have got very little time, but I'm going to do Euro New Zealand dollar insanely quickly. Weekly chart, uptrend, nice big bullish candles. I would buy back up to here. Day chart, daily uptrend, nice bullish wicks. I would buy back up to these highs, if not those weekly highs that I mentioned. So Euro New Zealand dollar is a buy trade, H4. You can see I have an alarm in. So why is that? Because there is a level here, which if I draw it across is holding, right? These wicks keep coming back inside. But if we get something like this and we get a bullish candle break that level, my alarm will go off, right? And I will jump into action like Bruce Lee, right? Like Chuck Norris and Bruce Lee. So that's what I'm waiting for. So yes, it's a definite buy trade for me. It's just that the H4, there's a little bit of uncertainty here. It's not playing ball, right? But if we got a nice big bullish candle, do that, breaking these highs, I would buy it. So there you go, guys. Guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash the notification button, and smash the like button. Please check out our free Discord and become part of our trading community. Just use the QR code on the screen and check out our website as well. Have a great trading week, and I'll see you next time.